Hello everybody, I'm here to help you guys with some study guide help for our geometry quiz that is coming up. A decorative rug in an office building has a dimension shown. What is the area of the rug? So we have our rug, right? It's kind of a weird shape. Looks like a parallelogram, right? Almost like a rectangle. And we all know that the area of a parallelogram is A equals base times height. So this should be pretty straightforward. We can put A equals whatever 6 times 12 is, right? And that's going to be our answer. This should be pretty easy for you guys. So that means our answer is 72. And since we're talking about meters, it's going to be meters squared, right? So don't forget to put the units here. Alright, so that's number 1. Number 2 says, what is the height of a parallelogram with a base 6 and an area of 90? So we all know that, again, area of the parallelogram equals base times height, right? So let's figure out what information we have. Over here, it says we have a base of 6, right? So our area equals 6. And then our height is what? Is it 90? No, it's telling us that the area is 90, which means that I don't have A, or I'm sorry, I don't have to put A. I don't have H, right? So 90 is my area. So area, remember over here it says area equals base times height. So over here it's telling my area is 90. So I have 90 equals base, which is 6, times height. And I don't have height. So if you guys remember what we learned last semester, or I'm sorry, last lesson, it was how to get our variables by itself, right? We want to isolate it. And in order to do that, what we do is we do the opposite of what is next to it. So this is 6 times H. So the opposite would be, I'm going to divide by 6, right? And whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. So 6 divided by 6 over here. And then 90 divided by 6. I'll have my answer. And again, my 6's cancel out. And when I do 90 divided by 6, I go in and out. And I would get 15. So my answer is 15 equals H, right? Because over here, again, in the question, it even tells us, that a lot of people skip this part, what is the height? So what is the height? So my height is 15. So 15 meters. Boom, D. So now it's talking about the area of the triangle. So again, you need to memorize your formulas. Area equals base times height, right? But the only difference is this is the triangle. We're going to say base times height divided by 2. Right? Because it's basically a parallelogram if I had this triangle over here, right? Which is how we kind of learned that. Like if I had this and this, it's a parallelogram. So base times height, but it's not. So I divide it by 2 because it's split in half. All right, so my base and height. My base is right here on the bottom. This guy, which is 8. Times my height. My height is this, remember you locate this little square right here. And then whatever numbers are on it. So we have the 3 right here. So it's 8 times 3. That's going to equal 24, right? But I'm not done because I have to do divided by 2. So 8 times 3, and then I'm going to divide by 2, and I'll get 12. And since it's asking for area, remember, when we're talking units, it's going to be inches squared. Okay, this should be a smaller 2. I don't want to mess with my font, though. So there you go. That is number 3, 12 inches squared. Alright, it says A just designed a triangular shaped window. So we know it's this triangle, right? Triangular shaped window with a height of 15. So let's underline some of the important words here. Height of 15. And then it says, and an area of 135 square inches. So again, it told us the height and the area. Now let's pay attention to the most important part, which is the question. What is the length of the base of the window? So it's asking us for the length. So again, our formula is area equals base times height divided by 2. Notice I'm writing it every time. And this is my formula of a triangle, right? So that's why I'm keeping it here. Base times height divided by 2. Now let's figure out what information we have. We have area, right? So instead of A, I'm going to put 135 equals. Now, do I have the base? I don't, right? Because I'm looking for the base. But I do have my height. So I'm going to leave B for base, and my height is 15, right? I can actually rewrite this to 15 times B. That's kind of how I would normally write it. Or B times 15, whatever you guys are used to. And then make sure you have the divided by 2 right at the bottom. Okay. So again, our whole point is to get B by itself. And this is kind of a two-step thing here. I'm not sure how. I don't think we've done it this way in class. All right. Well, what you're going to do now is I have to get the B by itself. So I'm going to get rid of the divided by 2 first. So what's the opposite of divided by 2? Well, it's going to be times 2. And if I times 2 to this side, I need a times 2 to this side. Right? Because we're trying to get B by itself. So when I do this, these cancel each other out, right? And then I get 135 times 2. And I would get 270. So now I have 270 equals 15B. Right? That's what it turned into. That was my first step. Instead of divided by 2, I multiplied by 2. So that's why these canceled out. You guys followed that along. And then what I'm going to have to do now is I have 15 times B. So the opposite of 15 times B is going to be divided by 15, right? I'm doing the opposite again. So let me actually write in green now so you can see my next step. Okay. So I'm going to divide by 15 here and divide by 15 on this side of the equal sign. Because remember, whatever I do on this side, I have to do to this side. And when I get 270 divided by 15, I'm going to cheat and use my calculator. Let me see here. Where's my calculator? There it is. Okay, so let's see here. Let's clear them out. I'm going to say 270. Whoops. 270 divided by 15. And I get 18. Okay? So 18 equals B. And again, I'm okay with you guys using a calculator on this just because we're more concerned about the formula and being able to figure this part out than the calculating part. 270 divided by 15, that's something you guys should be able to figure it out on your own. I don't want to have to work all that out every time. And you're free to do that at home as well. It's good practice to work it out, but I'm here just to teach you guys how to solve these problems. So B equals 18. So it's right here. That's our answer. All right, that was number 4. All right, number 5. A charm on Lucy's bracelet has the dimensions shown. What is the area? Did I get cut off? What happened here? I don't know. It's supposed to say area here. So we have a trapezoid here, don't we? And we know the formula of a trapezoid. It's area equals, oops, base 1 plus base 2, right? In parentheses, because we have to solve that first. Times your height, and all of that is going to be divided by 2. I don't know what happened to my font here. Give me a second to figure this out. All right, so now we got to plug in what information we have. Well, we have base 1, right? Base 1 is this bottom line, and then base 2 is this one. So we have 16 plus 8. 16 plus 8. So think of your base as the bottom or the top of your shape, right? So the bottom is 16, the top is 8. And then our height, remember, find this little square, and then whatever number, and you come right up to it. Our height is up and down usually, and here we go. We have 4. And then you're going to divide it all by 2. Now something you could do, well, I guess I'll show you that after. So let's go ahead and do this. This is order of operations now, right? So I'm going to do 16 plus 8 first. Let me rewrite it in a different color. We'll go blue now. So 16 plus 8, that's going to equal 24. There we go. So 24 times 4, and then I'll divide by 2, right? So let's do 24 times 4. Well, let me write it anyways. I know 25 times 4 is 100. So 24 times 4 would be 100 minus 4. And that would be 96. That's how I'm going to work it out in my head. And then I have 96 divided by 2, which will give me my answer. Whoa. Okay. Hopefully you guys can solve this part. If not, you can use your calculator. 96 divided by 2 equals 48. So I'm going to put 48 here. All right, so the thing I wanted to stop and talk about, and 48 is my answer for C, is over here on this step, when I'm looking at over here, 16 plus 8. So what you can actually do is right off the bat, you can divide this by 2. You can cut your height in half. So I can get rid of this 2 and turn this into 2, right? Because 4 divided by 2 equals 2. If this is an even number, you can do that right off the bat. I would recommend doing it because then you're messing with smaller numbers and you're done with the dividing part. So then I would have had 24 times 2, because 16 plus 8 is 24, times 2, and that's an easy 48, right? That's how I would have figured it out, instead of, multiplying by 4 and then dividing this by 2. It's just, it makes it an easier step for me. So I would have done this first. Like, it's almost like simplifying your answer. And you get to the same spot, which is 48 millimeters squared. All right, so the next question is a rectangle has vertices 0, 0, 0, 9, 4, 9, and 4, 0. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? Well, if you wanted to map it out, you can, make your own number line. Let me zoom in here, sorry. Make your own number line. And then kind of figure out where those are. So I have 0, 0. So that's the first one, right? So I'm going to put a dot here. Boom. Right, and then I have 0, 9. That means I'm not moving to the left or right. I'm going up to the 9 spot. Oops. I don't know why I wrote 9. And this is just helps me kind of visualize it a little bit. Then I have 4, 9, so I'm going to go to the right 4 and then up 9. And I'm just estimating right now, guys, which you can kind of do. And then 4 and 0. Because you're going to see that, so this is just a shape here, right? But when you think about this square or this rectangle I just made, right? It kind of looks like this. Well, if I'm going from 0 and up to 9, how long would this side be? If I'm going 0 to 9, that means this side has to be 9, right? And then if I'm at 0, 0 and I'm going to 4, 0, that means this side has to be 4. Which means this side is 4. And which means this side is 9, right? Because it's on the opposite sides. And now it's asking us for the perimeter. So perimeter means I just add up all the sides. So I'm just going to take 4 plus 9 plus 9. And I'll let you guys do that. That's addition. You guys can solve the rest of that. All right, this is the last one I'm going to do if I don't get cut off. What's the area of this figure? So like we do with composite figures, we chop it up. Like, where can I chop this to make it like an easy rectangle that I can figure out? I could either chop it right here, right, and make a little one and a big one, or I could chop right here, right? Either way would be fine, however you guys want to do it. I'm going to go this way because I like that little guy. It looks like he'd be easy. All right, so this little guy, and I'm just picturing this part. So let's say this is gone. Look at, I'm going to erase it for a sec. Maybe I'll bring it back after. If I'm just trying to figure out this little square, I know my height, my base is 3 right here, right? And my height is 2. So all I have to do is 3 times 2. And then I'll have 6. Now if I were to bring the rest of my guy back, let me see if I can do that. I missed. It's going to be a little bit hard. Let me see. There he is. I forgot where it was. Something like this, right? Yeah. So now that I brought him back, I'm just working out my height here is 5 and my base on this one is 12. That means 5 times 12, which is 60. So 60 plus 6 equals 66, and that's my answer. That's how we do it. You add these two together, turn them into shapes you can do. Boom, I got 66. That's it.